Rolling sound.
Rolling sound, bud. Goodness gracious. Blade, watch out, buddy. That's all you gotta do. What up, dude?
Are we on? Are we live?
Are we live?
Are we live? I'm sorry, I always want to do this. Okay? Just want to say hello. Silver plates. We like those. All right. I wanted to start by saying this.
Bells. What's up?
Ring-a-ling.
Hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day.
Sorry, that was me. I failed everyone on that. I'd like a chance to do it again one more time.
Ring-a-ling. Hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day.
Okay. Better.
It just brings me memories of
when times were better.
That's mom at this point.
Wait, real quick. Welcome to the
Love you,
scenic
Mom.
route. Welcome to the scenic route where we shoot the breeze with ease because
Taking your time is a luxury.
I'm talking and then gangs. Boom, 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 boom.
Alright. He said, for the club, tell him. Alright. But, it's just sometimes you just get these urges, you get these fucking,
He said, "You just want to psyched out of my mind
out
about."
of my mind. Hey, speaking of which, I was gonna ask you about your mind.
Yep.
And when it comes to the music shit, like, where's this shit come from? Like, where in your
The purest form of experience is where all my music comes from. Even my acting. That's why people think I don't care when I say I don't read scripts. I only don't read scripts because I feel like I find, well, I'll read the script, but I mean, like, I don't go too hard on it because I find the magic in the closest thing it is to knowing it and then saying it or doing it, if that makes sense. So even with songs, as soon as I feel it, I have to make it. And I don't make it, with this thing. I'm just like, whatever it is, boom, okay, follow that, believe in that, boom, follow that, believe in that. And I feel like I always come out with the best stuff when I work like that. My human initial reaction to things that happen.
Okay. Like, and I guess even with that, like, do you ever have those moments where you're kind of, you're almost like, damn, like, how did this come through though?
How did I do this? Or like,
yeah,
damn,
like,
all the time.
Like, how do I get this? You know what I mean? How do I get like a song like "Forget About Me"
Yeah,
that
I feel
came
that
out
way.
this
Yeah,
cold?
Yeah.
That was like a real thing that was said or whatever.
Exactly.
But I know what you mean by like, oh, this happens, I want to go talk about it. This would be a cool thing, because I feel like I can do that too. But I write sometimes from maybe experience, but I play around with the idea of it not being real, but I want it to feel real.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Storyteller.
But I do be, I'll think in my head like, it's amazing where it comes from. That's
said,
to me, that's like a pure form of God right there.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I said pure. I visualized God, and it's our magic,
that is,
whatever our
people,
magic is.
That was a thing, and then it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that to me, that's what I be feeling like.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like the creativity is best when it's, and this isn't for everybody either. I know other actors or other writers or people, they do a lot better when they, go in on it for a few weeks and they really have an idea of what they want to do and how they want to be, and it works for them and it's believable and it's real and it's great. Just for me, I feel like when I do that, if I'm watching myself, I can see myself thinking too much or, but if I'm kind of first thing I'm feeling, first thing I'm seeing, first thing I'm hearing, my reaction to the space, I'm in the space, I feel like leaning over here and then I want to,
That's like
all that stuff.
Some advice I'd give to like some songwriters out there is like to not overanalyze it and just write what comes to you in that moment. Sometimes that could be the coolest thing that you could say or the most natural thing that you would say is because you're thinking about it. And then you can go back in on it and maybe make it make more sense, but sometimes the shit that don't be making no sense is still dope because it's like she's got dumps on a truck. That's like what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All night long. Let me see that thong. I mean, that's not like brain
Did
science.
you hear the story though about that? He said
Yeah.
like his homie or something said
Because it's Eleanor
girl
Rigby. That beat is.
Yeah.
That's Eleanor Rigby.
Oh wow.
That's the Beatles.
Oh wow.
And get it cleared.
So didn't really make a lot of money off that song.
They said, give me all that.
They said, no, keep going. Have them tour. Just have them send us the money.
Right. Have them send us the
Have them
check.
perform.
Yeah.
Do you feel weird if you have a white person in a place of authority in your life?
That's American. It's living in America, buddy. That's America. So I'm kind of used to that.
And you played a lot. I mean, we grew up in Indiana, so all your coaches were white.
Yeah, but I didn't even look at it that way. I just kind of felt like that. I was like, that's how they set it up. But I always felt like I'll be that. I'll be there.
Yeah. You didn't feel like it was, right.
I didn't feel like I knew I'd be the boss at some point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It felt more an age thing, not necessarily a color thing.
Right. But definitely you get a sense of that, like as you get older, of just the system in general being like, I'm behind the 8 ball, or they at least try to design it for me to be.
Oh yeah, at least 50.
And in like as much as people might want to ignore it or something, there has been known facts that there's a racial motivation behind that. Of keeping
the bones of America.
Of keeping that structure in place. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But I feel like we've come like a long way of like, and then kind of like almost getting ourselves through that door. With the helps of the people who created those systems. You know what I'm saying? Like, say what you want to say. It takes good people out there to open that door and just be like, all right, cool. This is all stupid. My bad. They said my bad. Let's make this right. And I think that exists as well. Yeah. But that's just
real
crazy.
quick, pepperoni chicken or sausage. One has to go for the rest of your life.
Pepperoni chicken?
No, pepperoni bacon sausage. Sorry.
Pepperoni bacon
sausage. One's got to go.
Pepperoni bacon or sausage.
Yeah, one has to.
Fucking sausage is out of here.
Okay, I knew he doesn't like sausage.
Sausage
let's go to pepperoni. Pepperoni
here.
And bacon. One's got to go.
Pepperoni's got to get the fuck out of here.
He said, "I smell bacon."
Because bacon is top tier. I feel bad for anybody who just misses out on the bacon, man.
You don't like pork, I understand. Bro.
I get it, man. It's
good though.
It's fire,
really,
that shit crispy, and it's good on like everything.
Sandwich.
The fact that it can go like on like a breakfast thing, to a donut, to on a pasta, to on bread, to on rice. Like you could put bacon on anything.
I had maple ice cream on with bacon bits in it.
Yeah,
small little bacon bits.
Can't do that. Chicken.
Inside of an ice.
Can't do that.
That shit. Can't do that with the chicken. Ew.
Pepperoni, little one sided.
I like sausage though, man. I do. I really do.
Sausage,
I think there's some freaking the links, the freaking the ones from the pork ones from Cracker Barrel.
Yeah. You like the flowers or the link? You said you like both.
I like both. If I'm doing the link, I'll probably be from Denny's or IHOP vibe.
If I'm gonna do the sausage pause, I'm gonna go.
He said sausage pause.
No, I'm gonna do patties though. I'm gonna do patties. Smash
over the links.
Yeah, it's kind of like a smash burger.
I know what it is. I'm asking you why.
I like it. It's the bite. It's the bite. I don't like the bursting of the outer
skin on the
lid. And then fucking a piece of
all right,
hot
that's
grease.
A good reason. That's like I can see that. You know what I'm saying?
Can't stand that. And then
he said the outer casing.
I just want to get right to the
rib, the outer casing, the juice sizzled on my cheek.
I do love a biscuits and gravy. Speaking of which, we should get some soon. I really would love some biscuits.
I like biscuits and gravy.
That's fire.
Grandma made some bomb biscuits and gravy, man.
Always biscuits and gravy and a cheesecake. She always made a good cheesecake.
Who?
Grandma Rose.
She made cheesecake?
yeah, you don't eat cheesecake. This
She
is
never
like
made
our
me no
thing.
cheesecake.
This is one of our things.
Oh, okay. I was about to
And
say,
she's
she never
like-
made me no cheesecake.
'Cause at that time, I don't even think you ate cheesecake.
I still don't eat cheesecake.
And she made the cheese ball. Cheese ball.
Now let's talk about that. My grandmother used to make this thing called cheese ball. It's her famous cheese ball. Every family reunion, every event that we had as a family. That's what she's bringing is a bowl of cheese ball, and it's like what 20-something different cheeses.
Yeah, I still don't know how you make that. I cook and everything. I don't know how you make the cheese ball.
And you put that on crackers and go.
And
to
with the pecans or the nuts on the outside too. I even like those too.
Oh,
yeah. It was like
something special.
Something special.
Something special about that.
She was the first person to teach me how to make eggs. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
You guys like my eggs?
I do love your eggs.
And Grandma Rose taught me how to make eggs.
He said, "Let's put one up for Grandma Rose."
You know why? Because so y'all was on the road.
He said, "Y'all was going."
Dad was he was supposed to be around. I think he had a late night.
Late night.
And so Grandma Rose would come over and make sure I got on the bus and stuff. And she would just show me how to make because I didn't really eat breakfast before I went. And then she was like, "You just crack a couple of these in there and stir." Because I was like, dang, it's not hard at all.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's not hard at all to make an egg.
Speaking of, I want eggs now. I'm gonna make some.
Yeah, I love a good egg. I'm sorry, because you can put that on rice. You can put that on
egg is a very
egg
very
you eat by
versatile.
itself. It's very versatile. I love an egg. You put the wash on like outside of bread, to fry, to get that crust, that golden crust.
Egg is in everything. It's in cookies. It's in bread. It's in,
right. Yeah, it's a binder.
Yeah, exactly.
I love when you fry something, it goes in the egg.
Do you have a favorite kind of? This is a good question. Good question. Best restaurant bread that comes out before you start eating the real food.
I'm gonna go with the place called Funk. It's the Italian place in Beverly Hills.
Oh my!
You need a reservation months out.
He said the wait list is like 2 years.
But you can go upstairs if you don't have a reservation. If you don't have a reservation, you can go upstairs. They do have service.
He said
Upstairs, it's just not the same menu. But
it's very bridge and tunnel up there. Very bridge and tunnel.
Bridge and tunnel.
So I gotta tell you this story. Bridge and tunnel.
But before you say bridge and tunnel, I just want to say that the bread there is really good.
What's the name of it again, Ryan?
It's focaccia bread, and it's at a place called Funk.
And that's the best bread. That's the best bread you've had.
That's the best bread I had.
Any
come out
restaurant
or Steak 48. That
this guy.
He says another place,
dude. Come on. What about Applebee's? What about Texas Roadhouse, man?
Dude, hey,
Olive Garden.
You asked me the best bread I ever had.
Come on, dude.
But I do respect the damn Texas Roadhouse.
He said,
roll.
Actually, I was at Wolfgang's house, and he. Well, it's crazy because he only invites special guests on this night.
For dinner night,
and he tried something new. He was experimenting that night, and the bread was. It's the sound of the bread. It's not just the taste.
Had a person who studied in Italy and got the grandma's recipes.
They were actually a yeast major. I didn't know if you can do that in college. You can actually be a major.
When the waiters and waitresses start talking about our chef,
yeah,
it's a good.
It's going to be a good. When they I like that they
recommends that.
I like to respect that when people love their chef or like the place they work and they. It
is a type of place that they will recommend when you get your food. Yeah. They said, sorry, it's better if you just
try it the way it comes.
Wait for it all to come together.
I get mad when they tell me that I can't alter my shit. I'm paying and I want to switch the way you're doing it. Yeah. Not because I want to make it hard for you. I know what I like to eat.
Yeah, not for real. What about you though?
What do you mean?
Bread.
Oh, bread? I'm being 100% honest. Pure flavor. Pure, like if I'm just eating like, just multiple slices and lots of butter with it. I'm going Outback.
I was going to say that. Like as you were saying that, I was envisioning it and I knew he was going to say it.
And I'm also going Cheesecake Factory. The black bread from Cheesecake Factory is very, very good.
This is good. Something about black bread.
Black bread with the white
bread.
Is that oats bread on top? Once you go black bread, you don't go back bread.
No, but the bread that comes out of Outback, that's top tier though.
Great
top
bread.
Tier.
I'm a honey butter guy. Do you like honey butter?
I'll do a honey butter. I like a little honey butter.
Or you prefer, like, when you're doing it, are you going back
But
and forth?
I'd rather do a regular
The
butter.
classic salty butter.
A little salted butter.
I do love butter, man.
I love a little garlic and herbs butter.
It's like my secret dirty. I'll like come down in the middle of the night and just get like a piece of bread and just dunk it in the butter, man.
I appreciate butter so much more now as a a fan of the culinary arts.
After my time in Juilliard, it's not even a cooking school, but
I like butter's important in everything that you cook, whether it be salted or unsalted. And because
you prefer salted because I feel like that's what makes food good. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm sorry.
Salt, when you break it down, if it's not like
Salt
salty
and
enough,
pepper.
I'm like it's not hitting. Even mac and cheese gotta have enough salt in there. Things that are good have like a nice amount of salt. Unfortunately, it's killing us, and that's another truth. It's the food. It's in the food, man. I'm that guy now. And I still eat all the bad shit, but I'm just like, what can I do?
What can you do? I mean,
what can I do?
Somebody's trying to tell me the bottled water is fucked up.
That was me, I think, that told you that because I heard that. And
I said, listen.
They said, Ian, it's only like, it's 5% more acidic than your stomach is already. Like, it's like,
I like that when they do those little experiments with the little pH and all that. See that?
And like show how much chloroform, or like the chlorine is in the faucet water and shit.
Right.
What do you think they're doing every time you see the trails in the sky? Do you think it's chemtrails? Do you think it's...
I used to think that it was God scratching the sky like this.
Oh, and that's dope.
That's what I used to think as a kid. I thought he was like...
That rung some God scratching the sky is kind of like a cool... I don't know.
Yeah, but then I figured out they're poisoning us. But no, I'm just kidding.
It's something, though.
I don't know.
Because why do you do it?
Yeah, it is a weird thing in that it comes from...
And my thing is, it's not like... Because if it was like stuff, that's how their jets are. We're way too far in the future. You don't need all that gas behind. We got electric cars and shit. You don't need all that smoke or whatever that stuff is.
Also, too, I have heard, and I don't know how true this is, like, let's say if it was a commercial airline or something, that it's dumping, like, the wastes.
Oh, shit?
Yeah,
and like
so.
piss and
yeah,
trash.
Yeah.
And by the time it hits ground and disintegrates or some shit.
I saw this damn amazing video about a cruise ship. He said, "Yeah, we got about 3 tons of food that gets wasted.
What?
And we have to compact that, and they can't just throw it all in the ocean. They compact it. It breaks down into like a liquid, and then they flush it out into the ocean. But then even with the waste on board and everything like that, it's like a hefty thing.
You said it was on a ship?
On one of those cruise ships. Think about that.
Cruise
ships that got restaurants
now I'm
restaurants.
I'm snapping with you now. Now I'm ready.
And I'm just saying, environmentally wise, like a lot of those things, sometimes we don't even. Every Wednesday we put the trash out. Where does it go? It goes to a landfill. Have you been to a landfill?
I've not been to.
It looks like little mountains or whatever, but it's just piles on piles of trash.
I will say, me and Mom recycled for a long time, and those plants are scary too.
And they just squeeze everything down, trying to make it into another one of those things. That's why I do like to recycle. I mean, it's like you can, they're gonna make more. You can
pat yourself on the back, when you put your stuff
making
in the
more of the
blue
same stuff, which is really good. So they don't have to make more, but they're gonna make more anyways. Like the industries, that's how they. But I think sustainability, people are really into that because they're like, oh, you can get more money because if you're trying to save the environment, it's good, but. Damn, like global warming, bro. Like people are saying today how hot it is. It's about to be Halloween. I know we live in California, but a lot of other people in different parts of the country have been saying that too. Like
has been hot.
It's been hotter.
Was that this year? Because I don't think I heard. Every year I feel like I've heard this is the hottest it's ever been.
Right.
I don't think I heard that this year, like in the news or whatever.
Remember how hot it was?
No, it was that week. That little heat wave.
That was the hottest it's ever been. It was like 118.
It was 118?
Yes.
I felt like somebody was smacking me in the face.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you. I don't know.
Would you rather die from heat or cold? Like, let's say you're somewhere in the desert and you're like in the freezing cold somewhere. You don't have clothes on either. You don't have a coat. You don't have a cover, dude. It's just you. You got tidy whities on.
I think you might burn up. I think you might do the heat.
That's what you do?
Because I think my body could last longer than that. The cold is going to kill you instantly, bro. You're going to only be able to be out there for like 10 minutes max. But maybe...
Dude, so do they... I'm trying to figure out how they die. Is it because the lungs... Is it? I think it's it. Hey, but I'm like, is it freaking because their lungs are freezing over, like, or is it like you can't get oxygen because it's too cold, like what?
Everything
other
is
than hypothermia
freezing.
and all the cold shit. I'm just talking about breathing.
That though, the hypothermia is your heart. You pretty much have a heart attack because you're just trying to get the air.
The heat, your heart's trying to do the last thing your body can't do is create some heat or something.
Yeah, it's like
yikes,
and then it just gives up on itself.
Damn,
but it's pretty crazy.
He's damn. He had me rolling when he said, how old are you now? He said
54.
Damn. Oh shoot.
He said, I mean
it. I kind of meant it. It's pretty old as fuck.
I love old Kevin Hart. Bro.
Kevin Hart. Shout out to Kevin Hart, man.
Shout out to Kevin Hart. Hold on, I got something that I want to say. We didn't say it last time.
Would you rather have R2D2 or the gold dude?
Give me R2D2. R2,
yeah, he's cooler.
R2D2
is it because he can't talk back, really?
No, he be smart enough. He's a
he does get attitude.
He's getting attitude, but he's gonna do his job and he's gonna do it well. Cause who thinks a little trash cans is on a fucking save the world mission? But he be saving lives.
I try to figure out how something that's metal and robotic makes me feel like warm. Whenever I see him, I'm like, like I want to hug him. But he's like cold and electricity.
Right. And freaking C-3PO just gets on your nerves like, oh, sir, you can't do that, sir.
No, yeah.
Hey, he said, oh, my gosh, but what a Queen Amidala. Like, bro, come on, we out with the boys tonight, bro. He said, oh, no. Uh-oh.
Teletubbies. Shout out Teletubbies.
Dude, saying all of that, though, that brings me a great point up. This new Tesla robot.
Scary.
What? My thing is, we already know human beings are going to fuck it up in some type of way.
Well, we already did. Don't you know that's why all of those... Well, first of all, you saw how that came and went, the CEOs quitting at the same time?
Yeah.
That came and went, but that just happened recently. All these CEOs of all these giant companies quit at the same... Like 20 of them.
Yeah.
Quit at the same time. So that's one. Number two is... shoot. A lot of the people who are working in the tech space, were like... We already took it too far. He's like, we've already given him like two. That's
just because of the capabilities of AI is just pretty much saying that the way that it learns, it's already smarter. But we already knew that. That's why we do it. Like a calculator. Think about the very first calculator was like as big as this room almost. You know what I'm saying? And we were okay because it was smarter. It could figure out a math problem faster than we could figure it out. You know, a big math problem. Then computers come on board. Computers always have done things that human beings couldn't do better. All right. So, but all this time we've been equipping it, and now we've taught it how to do things. We've taught it the language. We've taught it like what people think about, what they search. Every single person that uses Google has been giving them information of like, just like because like even, but it makes sense because like, you know, we watch those little crime shows or whatever, and this some dude the other day, freaking, he said, how long before a body decomposes? What do you need to hide the smell of dead body? Like, people are dumb, but like, I'm just saying, like, but that AI is picking up on all of that stuff of just, you know, this is the best way to do it. I've been seeing like the Chat GPT things; those are amazing. I'm gonna see if I can find one.
Like quick. The AI generated music videos and shit.
No, like it was asking like a question of like, what could I, you know, how would you defeat us as human beings or something like that?
It asked it that.
Yeah, like somebody asked and then he gave. How would if you were my enemy, how would you defeat me or something like that? Hold on, I'm about
if humans were your enemy or some shit.
Something like that. Watch, I'm about to pull it up. This shit was pretty cool. Now that I think about it.
I think I got it. While you're looking that up,
yeah,
watch the Lorax. Learn a little bit about life and what's really going on. I've tried to put this mic on 27 times, man.
What's your struggle? What's going on?
I thought you were talking about the dogs. This.
All of it.
Messes with it too much.
There it goes. Got it. Hold on.
Pull it in, he's trying to go back.
All right, we're back. Took a brief commercial break, but it's the okay.
Ooh, okay, this is what it asked. Okay, this is even crazier. All right, we're back. Fuck yeah. All right, sorry.
You're good. We're golden.
All right, if you were, listen, preparing everybody in the room for this, all right? If you were Satan and could stop creative people from reaching their full potential, how would you do it? And this is what ChatGPT
This is the AI said this.
That's how it answered back. It said, and I have to read it. It's not video. It said, if I were to embody the role like Satan attempting to thwart the progress of creative individuals, I would employ several subtle yet effective strategies. First one, perfectionism. I see the idea that nothing they create is ever quite good enough, leading to endless revisions and reluctance to share their work. This could prevent them from completing their projects or ever feeling satisfied with their accomplishments. Number two, instill self-doubt. I would continuously sow seeds of self-doubt in their minds, causing them to question their talent, vision, and worthiness of ideas. Thirdly, I'd bring in comparison. Through social media and other platforms, I'd ensure and constantly bombard them with highlights from lives and careers of other artists, fostering envy and a sense of inadequacy. Number four, fear of failure and rejection. I'd amplify their fear of failure and negative feedback, making the act of sharing or completing their work seem daunting and fraught with peril. Next, exploitation. I would exploit their lack of business knowledge, allowing them to be taken advantage by larger entities. This could involve unfair contracts, underpayment for their work, or the appropriation of their creative ideas without adequate compensation. And then I would lastly create isolation. I would encourage isolation by fostering feelings that no one understands or appreciates their work. And that's how AI says that.
I bet you 90% of artists feel like that. I've definitely felt like some of that before.
You know?
For sure.
That's what the enemy is trying to provoke you to do, to stop being creative, to stop sharing your gift, all those different things. And if a computer can figure it out, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing it right in front of us, and sometimes we just, we can't help it. But I think if you at least are seeing it and kind of knowing what it's trying to do, maybe you can like point it out. So if any of those things resonated with you, then just pinpoint that and just be like, look, see, that's why they say the devil is a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to believe all those things, and those are the things that hold us back as humans. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy, man.
That was deep.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
They have more to like how would you break out of the matrix? You know, that was a cool one.
That's a good question. I wonder what it said to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does like my software won't let me access that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I said, I feel like we have to use this as an advantage for us. Going back to the robots, the whole reason why I was like, you're talking about R2D2 or C3PO, having something that could help us, I think is an amazing thing. We already have things that already do that, but like having another human being, it's gonna go down to this whole thing of like who can afford it. That's gonna suck because some people are gonna have the newest Tesla model, and then other people
robot, or it's robots, the movie Robots,
right?
The upgrades.
It's gonna have that element to it of status and shit.
Chappie's good too.
And then there's also gonna be ones that are like good, and there's ones that people are gonna program to be bad, and then like there's gonna be gonna be
Age
a fight
of Ultron.
too.
Age of Ultron is also another.
So
AI movie. Let's go through some of those AI movies. You got iRobot. You got
movie.
AI, artificial intelligence. District 9. Chappie.
Elysium to me is kind of like that.
Kind of.
Chappie.
Chappie's AI.
And Robot. Wall-E.
Wall-E.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any movies that have an AI character in it?
That have AI.
You do?
What'd you say?
iRobot. We
Yeah,
said that first. iRobot. But what else? There's other ones that I'm going to be like, why don't we say that? Said
that one.
Transformers.
Yeah, those are robots.
Those are artificially intelligent robots.
All right, not Beetleborgs, but yeah, I love Beetleborgs. That was the show.
Is that the kind of Power Ranger looking dudes?
Big bad Beetleborgs. Did you say? The
Jetsons. Did
Jetsons.
they have an AI thing in that?
Yeah, you're saying AI, but I'm also including robots.
Yeah, robots. Because that is
yeah.
to me AI, a robot that can just go around and do and say. Fill the future. Smart house.
You know they're making a new Karate Kid. You saw that, right?
Is that real?
I thought it was real.
Who is in that again?
Jackie Chan, and then
Oh, I like him.
and then the original Karate Kid,
Do you know what that kid's from?
and then the other kid. I don't know what he's from.
He was on American Born Chinese on Disney Plus, which was actually dope.
Oh, okay.
It was, the Monkey King, the
Yeah,
spiritual. What was he? He was the god of something.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, he has a kid. His kid's, rebellious. Goes down, wants to be a normal kid, and he would talk to humans, so he befriends this guy. And then the guy figures out that he's has something to do with this prophecy and yada yada. But
Yeah.
the kid acted his butt off in that. And, it showed the struggles of being American-born Chinese, a Chinese kid who wants to be cool but doesn't want to accept his history because maybe people at school make fun of him. I thought it was an interesting take.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, pretty good. But yes, he is in that.
I didn't see that, but I know that. I think that movie is. They're gonna.
Jackie ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, it's just the way that they've been making movies when it comes to the newer stuff has just not been as
I think they
I want it
stopped.
to be just as gritty. I don't know. I think because the technology's
So
getting
good that they're
better.
not trying as good to set the shots up. That's what I
I don't
think.
even think it's not as good as. I just think it's so sharp in HD that it just looks different.
Yeah.
It's just. I want that.
Would you say
old
that
look.
Bad Boys, even the new Bad Boys, the camera compared to 1 and 2, how it had that film kind of grain over those first two, and then because you're saying the newer ones, where the newer camera, you can just it just looks more
It's crisp.
Yeah.
It's just always just very crisp, and I kind of like you said, the film grain to it, or just
I feel like Scorsese does that a lot. Grain.
yeah, his he
Film.
always has it, but a lot of it is film because it's more expensive to film on
And
film.
he's using film.
You know, yeah. Most people are doing everything digital now, and it just
Doesn't have the same.
doesn't
capture.
have that
It's
same.
not, isn't that
character.
crazy? First of all, let's talk about cameras and capturing something and it staying there.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the craziest inventions, or discoveries.
yeah.
I like to think of all inventions as discoveries because we could always do it. We always have the capabilities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I saw something like that the other day. It was something phone. It was Edison, and it was kind of like a megaphone or something like that, a phonogram or something. But pretty much they played a Biggie song, and the vibrations of it were carving out the sound pattern, just like a vinyl, And then that was one of the first types of a record
player.
And then so it was on this thing, and it was just rotating, and then the sound was coming out this big old little, thing.
It's nuts. Imagine
That was dope.
their office space or back in the, I've got to create this.
Right.
It's going to be in the history books.
There was a Thomas Edison. That boy stayed on his ride.
Dude, you know how much shiesty stuff went down? Probably none of those people did anything.
We're going to cut this track into a 128-year-old wax cylinder record.
Oh, wow.
1905 Edison phonograph. The sound travels down the horn to the recording head. The cutting sapphire cuts the sound into the wax. The entire mechanism is mechanical. There's gears and grease and oil. And here's our finished record. We're going to blow off the scrap wax. Let's play
At this
it back.
point, it looks like
Look at those grooves.
yeah, you guys will see it. I'll put it down there now.
He said, hey, boss, big butts. Whenever I see that, that's what I think of. It's
That's what he
insane.
would have
Like
sounded
how?
like in 1903. Isn't
That's
that
why all
crazy?
the radio people do is that, and we're coming out of it. And you cannot
Right,
believe what we're
right.
saying with our
But
eyes.
that's why I love. Look, man, that's why the radio is big business, because it was that one of the very first forms of mass communication, and that's how people were getting their information. And people would just sit around that speaker listening.
Yeah, for
the
real.
fact that you could get that radio wave to come in to somebody's home
nuts.
or somebody's
It
car.
doesn't make any sense.
It's pretty,
it really doesn't
pretty
make
crazy,
any sense.
The airwaves, you know.
And my thing is like, if you can create something to do that, why can't I feel like we can do that? We just don't have the access to it. But like, if you can create something that can send a wave to something from that far away and communicate a sound, whatever, I feel like we can do the same stuff.
Like as human beings,
Yeah.
Like almost
send a wave, whether it's
telepathy.
telepathy, something.
Yeah.
I just think that's crazy because when we're still talking about it, I still don't know how it's happening, what we're talking about.
I know, it's pretty crazy.
The sound grooves went into the wax and I can hear the sound. It still doesn't make fucking sense.
I know the vibration. I was thinking about, I was like, I didn't really get it. Even though, even the vinyl, I don't
understand. I don't understand it.
I mean, I know there's like little ridges in it and as it's playing.
But how's that making the song? How am I hearing the whole song?
Crazy. How it records on there. Like, man, I don't know. That's why I love, like, you know, sound design. I've always been like geeky about that because I know certain shit sounds better than other stuff, in my opinion. You know, I think that's what helped me out in mixing. It's because I'm like, this is how I hear it.
Yeah.
And we've kind of developed a way that we like our vocals to sit and how we like the, you know, music to kind of go with that. I think being writers and vocalists and shit, we prioritize the audio of the lead and shit. A lot of producers that are just like producer first, they like to put their
vocals
beat
down here.
They want their beat all up,
all the way down here.
But I'm like, I want to hear.
I can't hear what I'm
like
saying.
Somebody like Drake was like somebody like to me who started putting his stuff like right on top.
Front. Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. Me. I love Quavo. I love his template, the way he's got it. You know, a lot of cool artists have like what I would call a template.
Yeah.
And I think
for real.
Yeah. Some people, because like
cutting through. I think that's how you get someone to sing your stuff. They got to hear what you're saying, and you got to be. I think the vocals
and the way that you want them to hear it. Like that's what's so special about The Weeknd when he came out. Freaking Travis Scott when he came out. It was like, oh, like their vocals sound like it put me in a world. You know what I mean? You can't do that if it's just dry vocal.
Yeah.
Or if it's just a little EQ on there. No, I want y'all to jack that reverb. I want you to jack the delay on there. I want you to put a cool phaser effect on there and then make it sound like I'm underwater or what, you know. Some people don't like it. Some people like straight. I don't want none of the tricks. No bells and whistles. You know what was cool? One time, bro, is when we went to John Legend's recording session, and I still take some of those things that he said and how we do stuff. He's like, there's like, as you just send the vocals like that. He's like, yep. I don't want anybody to change my vocals when I send them over. I'll sing it how I want to sing it now. And then give it to them like that, you know what I mean? Because sometimes people might put like a auto tune on there,
yeah, a different tune, or they'll put a different EQ, and then you sit. Because look, you spend, depending on the song, 15 to 20 hours, I'd say, making sure that it's like I'll listen to my music over, and I'm sure to my friends and family's demise, you know. But I want to hear it over and over to make sure I'm making sure it's right. And every time I hear it, there's nothing that I wish I heard, and there's nothing that I wish I didn't hear. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always listen, and I'll find it. Like if I listen, I'll be like, oh, I got to go back and do this or whatever. I was saying that to say what?
Yeah.
What were we saying?
Yeah. I think, no, are you talking about the mixing?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, that's what we were talking about, mixing?
Yeah. Like how you like your vocals to sit and, you know, your preferences and stuff like that. But I think that's what made us a good team in the sense because we were going to a bunch of different people to mix, you know, your records. And I felt like, you know, let's just do it the way we like it to hear because we listen to it so often, even let's say if it's not technically the right way to do it, I think sometimes that sounds better. It just sounds better. But then there's some technical stuff that's like you kind of got to have that if you want, you know, this vocal to get the most out of it, or like there's certain reasons why those plugins do what they do, you know, so you have to have like at least that, like your microphone matters. This microphone sounds different than the TLM Neumann 103 that we have downstairs. That's like, you know, it's a little large diaphragm condenser mic. Condenser mics.
Almost everything on that.
Yeah.
Everything you guys ever heard us do, we record on that mic.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. I just remember like just learning about like the differences because, you know, just finding out like what a USB microphone, why is that different than one that has an XLR cable? All of its power, like how much power can you draw from the mic? You know, phantom, this little thing that's tracking our vocals has phantom power. This microphone can't work without it. Like you just have to every microphone is different. You know what I'm saying? So I know you like that Sony. You love that Sony.
So that's gonna be my gift to myself when I'm ready. The C800. Yeah, when I was recording, which is so cool. Like I told you, I saw Harvey today, and that was just took me back, bro. How many studio sessions I've been in since I was 15 years old. Always in the studio, always recording different producers, different songs. People saying sing this. People saying you gotta be like this. People saying you should do this. People saying, you know. And I've had great sessions, and some of my best ones were with Harvey.
Yeah.
Remembering those times, but yeah. What were we saying again? It's gone. It goes that quick. Microphone. Oh, the C800 was over there.
Yeah.
And I remember recording that, and I could just hear the difference too. C800. Yeah, and I always loved it. I was like, that's my dream. I'm gonna get myself a C800 microphone. But I do love the fact that I've been able to make the songs I have, and they sound as good as they do using the mic that we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
And that could just be my own, like, creating that it's better in my head because it's more expensive or whatever, but you can get the same sound.
I think the sound is, I think it's different, but it's all about preference. You know, some people like the U87. It's that longer one. You know, it's this one that we have, but it's just a taller one. It looks like a Coke bottle.
Yes.
Some people like that one but it's stronger. It's a stronger mic. You know what I mean? And it catches more of your vocal. It catches more of those waveforms. So sometimes that's why people like it. But then it's really, really loud, and you have to like tone everything down. And but you know, I think ours is specific to our system. And if we throw another mic in there, it will be really cool to see.
I would like to see
the adjustments of like does it make the difference? You hear it or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there were some songs that, you know, I'm glad that we ended up just doing it because, like you said, you go back and be like, man, I just wish this was cutting through differently. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and then going back and forth with different people over the phone, trying to make those edits remotely is a little harder, but I'll be the type of person I would go in, you know, they're probably like thinking like, who the fuck do these guys think they are? You know what I mean? But I'm just like, yo, I know that's not the way that it sounded like from before. I know and Trevor's not going to like it that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it that way. Like, just nudge that thing.
I don't understand how you can do that as a person. Go
ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I was just going to say, as a person that's mixing or mastering, like, don't change the record. Like, just.
Sometimes, but in their defense, sometimes it's either their system where they put it on their thing. It might shift a little bit, or it might.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they don't
timing. I've heard timing be off, and I'm like, what's going on?
Because they might be like, this is how they wanted it. You know what I'm saying? They may not want to change it. You know what I'm saying? Or because sometimes you do all that work, and then they're like, no, that's not the way it sounded. But I get what you're saying, but there have been times where I've gotten something and it just wasn't sitting right because the way that they sent it or just something weird. But I get what you mean, though, definitely. Some people I'm just like, how do you, like, why are you changing stuff? That's my thing. That's my thing. Don't change
taking stuff
anything.
Away, adding stuff, putting your little reverb
don't
stuff
add
on.
stuff.
I thought this would sound cool right here. Yeah, but that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Nope, exactly. You know. I'd say once Cucarell told me that like when we're done in here, that's the song's done.
Yeah.
We're just gonna send it to master. He's like, my job is like I'm mixing this record at the same time as we're recording it, like to make it sound is what I think is like, you know, presentable or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's the way he heard it, you know, and then I started figuring out that's what vocal production ends up eventually being. Is your preference and how you decide you want to record something, you know, but the mix wise, some people don't know what the mix is. For a long time, I didn't know what the mix was or what's mixing, you know.
Yeah,
it's literally every
Andrew
adjustment
was there
you're
today.
making.
I don't know if you remember him from Harvey's.
That's what they were saying earlier. I think that was maybe before.
He's cold, bro. He's one of the coldest engineers of all time, and he's way more than that. He's a musician though, but. When I met him, he was engineering. He was the quickest engineer, and he didn't take no shit. He'd just be in there like, okay.
Right.
And then the song would be done.
Because the way that they were recording, because you were in the booth, right?
Yeah.
Then they were VPing and producing, and then they have an engineer. Because some people don't know, like sometimes you can be recording yourself and singing all in the same room. But when you go to those types of studios, it's different because there's a whole vocal booth that's in another place. So there's a certain way to do it, and your engineer's got to be
on it, because if I'm in that room and I can't get to the computer and I'm ready to get the bar out of the line and you're taking too long and I'm losing the feeling, it's like, oh, it can ruin a session.
He said 1 second, hold up.
I'm like, dude, I've been in the studios for, and I'm like, oh. Of course, I'm not mean. I'm kind and polite to everybody, but on the
people
inside,
just mess the vibe up a little bit, or messing the vibe up by like being just rude in general. I just can't. If you're an engineer and you're like in it, like,
why are you a dick? Don't be an asshole.
Just like catch the vibe of the room and match it. You know what I mean? Because you're a part of somebody else's creative process right now, and you don't want to be the reason why there's a chink in the chain. Like. Because you have an important job. It is an important job, but like, it's gotta come out the right way.
I think a chink in the chain comes when someone wants to be there and like create, or it's just pride. I think pride is always the chink in the chain in the studio. Like, if somebody's more worried about getting their line in instead of the best line in.
Yeah. I can't stand that.
Those guys get on my nerves, and then they want to spend 40 minutes of why they think we should.
That's
do
why
that.
I don't really write with too many other people.
It's hard, yeah. And writing, especially when it's your record, it's too personal, really. So it's like, even though you're trying to explain that to me, it's not your record, and you're not saying it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say it like this, like, and I get like there's some stuff that's like constructive or like good idea and stuff like that, but like when there's a limit and a boundary. I think when it's somebody else's song, I'm just like, I'm listening to it, and I'm just like, if they're happy with it, then there's a part of it that I have to just be like, all right, it's their song, and then there's sometimes where you do, like, it depends on what hat do I have on in this studio, because I can go in somebody's session and know how to do everything. But if it's not being asked of me, I'm not going to jump in and put my 2 cents in, because I feel like that's a little disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody asks you your opinion or something and you give them your best opinion on it, then that's all it is. It's just an opinion. Doesn't mean it's got to happen or it's going to happen. It's just, But I know some people, though, that's why I keep the studio limited. Don't want too many people messing up the ideas of what I'm trying to do. Yeah. For sure. But yeah, dude, fucking, is there any relationship stuff?
Relationship stuff. What do you mean, like a scenario that's crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, Dad gave me this. He said, you're with somebody. You guys were together for maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah.
You catch her cheating. You're trying to leave. She shoots herself in the head. You paying for the funeral?
Oh my God. So say it again. I didn't really catch the end part. I just caught the end part.
He said, let's say you've been there 3-4 years. You come in. You see her, she's with some dude, right? You're trying to leave, you're packing your stuff, you're leaving. She's like, no, don't go, please. Boom. Blows her brains out.
Shit, dude.
Paying for the funeral?
No, I'm not paying.
You've been with her 4 years, bro.
Oh, I've been with her 4 years? That's a big thing. But it also depends on like why I'm leaving.
Because she cheated on you.
Yeah, so she cheats.
Then you're trying to leave, she blows her brains out. The family's like, you gonna get it, right?
Hell no, dog. Let that dude pay for it.
Dad cracked me up. He said,
he put something on it.
He was asking some people, and they're like, I put something on it. I ain't gonna pay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I might put a little something on it.
I might give him $100 or something.
And I told Dad, I said, I'd be so mad at that person.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad at them, dude.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah. How
that sounds a little possessed to me. So at some point I'll be like, I don't know if they was right. You know what I mean?
They had some darkness.
There's some darkness going on, and maybe it's better that
dang
it all worked out the way it did. I'm just saying, sometimes you gotta let the divine intervention take its place, because sometimes you could be being saved from something.
For real.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because and it doesn't have to be that dramatic. It could be that, somebody somebody missed their bus and didn't make it to or missed their plane, and I end up taking off without them. You know what I mean? It's like they were like, I can't pay for a flight ticket. Why you leave? Well, see ya. Because I know that's happened. I've had a friend say pretty much along the lines of like the person that they were with couldn't pay for their ticket, and they were like, I'm leaving, I want you to come or whatever, and something happened, or maybe they wanted to cancel the flight and they end up leaving still, and the person was mad pretty much like, pretty much because they don't know how to deal with the missed plane or whatever. I was just like, that's wild.
Damn.
Yeah.
So she got left?
Yeah. I think he got left. Yeah.
Oh.
Where it could have been two girls.
Where were they going?
I think
that has a lot to do with how I feel.
If
I didn't make the flight, but where were you flying to?
Yeah.
You flying to Cincinnati? I'm cool. Right. Flying to Miami?
Different story. Nah, man. It's like, do you believe that whole thing on like where you go, I go?
With my partner?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be everything, but if like she is, if we're both not doing nothing, we should be doing stuff together. You know what I'm saying? If it's not like work stuff, like I'm not gonna go do like an amusement park or go like to a nice dinner, or even go to a movie if I'm not working without my girl to be with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think, but the majority of the time, I'd like to spend a lot of time with you. Yeah, as much as I can get. And, there's going to be phases. I realize that now throughout the patterns I've noticed within life. Like, you feel slightly differently. Like, you may not be as much, but for me, I want to be around the person that I'm with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All the time.
It might be a little weird if you didn't, right?
Yeah, right. Some people don't want to be around the person that they, quote-unquote, love.
Right, because even when you're apart, you kind of feel like a little different. You're like,
but that's even
sad.
You guys.
You feel sad, like, like I miss you, like you can't get an I miss you if you guys are together all the time. Right. And it's just like that.
Yeah, you can though. I miss bathroom trips.
Yeah, but really though, you can't. But I just mean in a sense of like being like, if you're together and then this person is not there with you present, that feeling sucks if you have to endure it for a long period of time. Yeah, like long distance relationship, not for me. I'm never gonna do a long distance.
It doesn't make any sense also because it's like you're building the purpose of, when you get to a certain age, the purpose of dating is to find the partner for the rest of your life, right? So it's like that the number one thing is how we're going to do life together.
Yeah.
And we have no experience in that, and we've been talking for 7 months or 8 months, or people are like, I've been online with them for 2 years, they're the love of my life. You don't know what they smell like. You don't know how they wake up. You don't know how they click what if they click their utensils on the plate and you don't like it, it just rubs you wrong. You can't live with it.
Can't live with it.
You know what I mean? You just don't know. You got to be around the person you're going to be with before you decide you want to really be with them.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous.
That's why I think like you got to, that's what the time should be spent doing that.
Yeah.
Figuring out if that's possible, if you can do that. You know what I'm saying? If you just fucking, hitting and running, you're not going to be able to get that. You know what I mean? So
what do you mean by hitting and running?
If all of it is just about the sex, then just like, all right, I'll see you when I see you. That's why girls, when you start to do that to them, they be like, what is that? Because they see it coming. They're like, because there ain't nothing that can really come out of that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's gonna take a lot longer. If I know what you do on Tuesdays because I only see you on Tuesday. I never hung out with you on a weekend.
Thursday or right.
There was a time. You know what I mean? You seeing somebody. I only see you on the weekends. Oh, now you're starting to come over during the week. Now you're over like on holidays. It progresses for sure. You know what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Before we cut up out of here, dude, I just want to see if you had any brotherly advice.
Brotherly advice.
Or anything else to get off your chest, or for that matter.
I want to go back to the study of, we were talking about that, I think when we were doing that panel, and just study whatever you like. Study the people that did it best, and then create your own version of that. If you want to be good at it, and going back to video games, I'm rambling now. Going back to video games, I love them so much because like you do it until you get it right, and that's just like how life is. So keep your chin up. That was more than one advice thing, but
Yeah.
there's that.
I'd say tend to your garden.
However you
tend to your
take that.
garden, whatever, life's a garden. Dig it.
Dig it.
No, but you definitely like
I like that.
when it comes to harvesting and all this and that, you just have to make sure that you're, giving your soil the right nutrients and understanding the growth that's happening underneath before it's all coming together, and what to do, how to take care of it so it can come to fruition. And then when it does, you're appreciative of the way that it's all come together. Like, I think there's something in gardening that a lot of people end up liking. I don't have the patience for it, but I respect everybody that does, because it is a whole process of seeing that thing grow and then being happy that you get to eat it. And, it's pretty cool. So tend to your gardens, make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. And, yeah, it's a scenic route where we shoot the breeze with ease.
Taking your time is a luxury.